enjoy for now. We will be working on a project a little bit later though. So there we go. Here's the Paleozoic era and the different periods that we've discussed, from Cambrian all the way up to Permian. There's some cute little critters that lived during the Cambrian. The Ordovician. Trilobites, the Silurian, corals and stuff, Devonian. Remember, that was the age of the fishes. That guy looks pretty gnarly right there with all the blood. He just looks cool. Well, this right here is a shark. This is one of those bony fishes with the scales on them. So they're pretty big. At the end of the Permian, it's the Paleozoic extinction. Remember, 90% of life is wiped out. It's even worse than a lot of the other ones. This one's pretty bad. Here's one idea of what happened with the volcanoes. So here's our Mesozoic era, where of course we have the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous. Of course, the start of the dinosaurs. There's Jurassic. Everybody knows Jurassic Park. Fun. Reptiles. And then Cretaceous plants and animal life. There is a Jurassic Park movie coming out. That'll be pretty good. And then, of course, okay, so 75% of all life forms die out, with this, one of the hypotheses being that a meteor comes and hits it. And it was 115 miles across, so it's huge. So it's like from here almost to Casper. Crazy. That's how big it was. And that's why it killed off so much.
There's a crater in Mexico, in the Yucatan. You can actually see it. You know, you look, it's like looking across at the mountains. That, and you know, say, that, it's just this huge thing, but it's enormous, and it goes out into the ocean as well. It hit right in the Yucatan.
Okay, so here is what North America looked like.
Hey, Vietnam. Our grandfolks would sit us down around the table. Got the kerosene lantern. No electricity. Kerosene, you smell like kerosene too. It'd be light right around that table. It'd be kind of shadowy and dark around us. And you could smell the wood stove. You know how wood burns. Yeah. You get campground. Got that kind of smell inside the house. And they tell us stories. And I remember hearing the story from my grandma. later on in my life, I heard different versions of it. And even now, it's on the internet, this creation story of the Arapaho people. It begins the way my grandma told us. She said, a long time ago, there was nothing but water, she said. And there was this man, he was floating on water. And in this man's hands, he cradled this pipe. And this pipe today is still with us. It's one of our highest sacred article within our tribe. It's the first, the highest. It's called the flat pipe. Sa'ijaw. That's the name of the flat pipe. Sa'ijaw. This man was floating days and days floating on this water, this pipe. We started to kind of feel lonely, kind of cried. So he called these animals, these waterfowls, these birds. I need your help. Find land, find clay, find something at the bottom of this ocean and bring it back up. Different animals. This otter, this beaver, they dove down to look for land. They never came back. So he called these other birds and asked them to dive down and see if they can't bring land. So, took a long time, days went by. So finally he asked this turtle. And this man said, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go down and help you find land to bring it back up. So with his power, when this turtle dove in, he dove in. And when he dove in, he turned into a duck. So they both dove in and went down, down. Finally, they came to land, the bottom of the ocean. They got a clump of clay, brought it back up. That duck turned back into a man. That man took that clay, broke off 5 pieces, throw them in each direction. Southeast, southwest, northwest, northeast. That middle one, he dropped in the middle. Made land. And from that land, all of these different growths of seeds began to happen. Vegetation. More animals came into being, finally man. And this flat pipe was given to us by the Creator, man above. So the pipe that we have today finally rested on dry land. And all through these ages, that pipe was in the teepee on dry land. So that's the creation story my grandfolks told me. By the duck, and by the turtle bringing the land or mother to this man to be preserved. And I've heard different versions as I was growing up of it. So with that, that's how it is.
Thank you.
Science always tries to find a meaning to things. It has to be proved scientifically. There's always a scientific explanation to it. You know, they really don't believe. So I've run into a few scientists a few times and told them about things like this. And they say, oh. You know, we talked about that one time, science and our traditional stories that we tell. And they seem to not, they seem to conflict. You've heard of Adam and Eve, how they were created, how many days it took, how the earth was created, 7 days. But how I really feel about that science and how we were brought up with our traditions. I stick to what I was taught with.
The,
Traditions that we learned growing up. But you know, I don't shut out the scientific end of it. It's fun to read about.
Well, even before Pangea, when the earth was first formed, it was fire, and then it became water. And then the land was there, and then it spread out. And so that's why I like the creation story, because it's like, so it was water, and then we got the land, and then it separated out, just like where the water had to be brought up by the turtle and the duck. So that's what I find fascinating, is the more we find out about science, these stories that have been passed on seem to make science even better, because it has been passed on for so many years.
And I don't know really how long this creation story has gone back in time. I don't know when it originated, you know. It's just something that was been passed on generation after generation to our time here. What do you think, students? Any thoughts about it? But you've heard this creation story before sometime in your lifetime, right?
Yeah.
You want to tell us your version?
Like you were saying, how the man couldn't pick it up. And what I heard was that the old man fight with the man, or it became a fight, and he was the one that told these animals over and over to do that.
Yeah. I heard that story too growing up, the way she told it.
That's one I heard.
Yeah.
The first one I ever heard.
We have about 10 seconds left.
That's good.
Well, thank you.
Yep. I hope.